What's going on, folks? My name is LBThaRealist. This is Surrealistic Studios, where the real is surreal. Thank you for joining me on this special segment of Surreal News, where the real is surreal. Hit that like button, share, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell wherever it may lie, and let's go ahead and jump into this news story tonight. Elon Musk says he will sell Tesla shares to help world hunger if, and that is a big IF. I know that probably is backwards. If the UN can prove where the money is going. Okay, so again, it shouldn't be that difficult to do, right? It shouldn't be. It really shouldn't. But we all know how these things go. Let's go ahead and jump into this article from CBS News. I'll leave it down below if you guys want to read it for yourselves. So, last week, the director of the United Nations World Food Program said if the world's top billionaires just donated a fraction of their worth, millions of people who are at risk of starving to death can be saved. Elon Musk, the second wealthiest person in the world. Is he the second? I could have sworn he overtook Jeff Bezos for that title recently. Did he already get flipped again? Or did somebody else come in? I can't keep count with all these billionaires. So it says Elon Musk, the second wealthiest person in the world. Okay, in the world. Okay. He's the first. He's the first or the most wealthiest person in the United States, I believe. All right. Anyways. They got a lot of money. We get it. All right. Elon Musk, the second wealthiest person in the world, said he'd give up some of his wealth only if he knows exactly where the money is going. I mean, obviously. That sounds fair to me. David Beasley, director of the World Food Program, said on... But Elon Musk could do it himself, honestly, at this point. He could put together his own team and feed the world. Anyways, David Beasley, director of the World Food Program, said on CNN last week that a one-time donation from the top 400 billionaires whose net worths are ever growing in the U.S. could help save the lives of 42 million people this year. The world's in trouble, and you're telling me you can't give me 0.36% of your net worth increase to help the world in trouble in times like this, he said. What if that was your daughter starving to death? What if it was your family starving to death? Wake up, smell the coffee, and help. I get it. I totally agree. 0.36%. So if each person donates, if each billionaire, each of the 400 billionaires? If each one of those 400 billionaires gives up 0.36%, not even 1% of their net worth, they could solve world hunger. Wow, that's powerful. Now, you want to talk about power and control? That's power. That's control. That's the control to not go hungry. That's the control to always have food, to always have what we need as humans. That's power. If we all looked after each other the way we were supposed to, and I know a lot of people would say, hey, it's their money, they can do whatever they want to do with it. Who are you to decide what they do with their own pockets? I get that point of it. I totally get that point of it. But when you take into account everything that, all the people that contributed to these people getting this much money, all the people that worked for them, all the things, all the catalysts that made that happen for them to freely accumulate this much wealth. When you take all of that into account, doesn't it make sense for them to give back a portion of their income so that the greater society can thrive and survive? When it doesn't really affect them, it doesn't affect their pockets. It's a lot of money to us. Like, just if a million people donated $1 to everybody, we'd have a lot more. We've had a lot of millionaires. You know what I'm saying? Like, if everybody just contributed $1, it's a small portion of your income. You know what I'm saying? If they just contributed 0.38%, not even 1%, they could solve world hunger. So let's go ahead and continue on with this article here. That's just amazing to me. I had to take some time to just really think about that. Musk, the founder of Tesla and SpaceX, who has an estimated net worth of $151 billion, according to Forbes, replied to a tweet questioning the group's figures. If WFP can describe this on Twitter thread exactly how $6 billion will solve world hunger, I will sell Tesla stock right now and do it, Musk wrote. But it must be open source accounting so the public sees precisely how the money is spent. I love it. Exactly. It has to be transparent. Beasley said the organization has systems in place for transparency and open source accounting. Your team can review and work with us and to be totally confident of such, he replied. And it gives the tweet here from David Beasley. I can assure you that we have the systems in place for transparency and open source accounting. Beasley also responded to a question about the group's existing spending, including $8.4 billion in 2020. The $8.4 billion you referred to covers what we needed to reach 115 million people in 2020 with food assistance, he says. We need $6 billion plus now on top of our existing funding requirements due to the perfect storm from the compounding impact of COVID, conflict, and climate shocks. He also shares CBS's news article, which explains how the current hunger crisis is a toxic cocktail of conflict, climate change, disasters, structural poverty, and inequality. COVID-19 has only made it worse, and on its website, the program says it needs $6 billion to avert worldwide famine this year. $6 billion will not solve world hunger, but it will prevent geopolitical instability, mass migration, and save 42 million people on the brink of starvation. Okay, so they're saying it won't solve world hunger, but it will greatly help it. It will prevent geopolitical instability, mass migration, and save 42 million people on the brink of starvation. An unprecedented crisis and a perfect storm due to COVID, conflict, climate crisis, Beasley said in another tweet. He also tweeted that with Musk's help, the organization can bring hope, build stability, and change the future. Let's talk. It isn't as complicated as Falcon Heavy, but too much at stake to not at least have a conversation. I can be on the next flight to you. Throw me out if you don't like what you hear, he wrote. To which Musk replied, please publish your current and proposed spending in detail so people can see exactly where money goes. Sunlight is a wonderful thing. So Elon Musk basically reiterating, hey, I hear what you're saying. Put it out there so the general public understands what we're talking about. Let's have this conversation in the public, not in private, which I can totally respect. I can totally respect that. That's ultimate transparency. What did you think? The World Food Program says famine is declared when malnutrition is widespread and when people have started dying of starvation through lack of access to sufficient nutritious food. People in 43 countries are on the very edge of famine and risk starvation, including Afghanistan, the Central African Republic, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Ethiopia, Haiti, Honduras, South Sudan, Uganda, Venezuela, Yemen, and Zimbabwe. To help save lives in the face of famine, the organization employs an emergency food assistance plan. The group says its largest ever scale up of food assistance was in Yemen, adding 1 million people in 2015 to nearly 13 million people in 2019, helping avert famine 2 years ago. So again, it says Lee Cohen contributed to this report. This report by Caitlin O'Kane, CBS News. So I'm going to start shouting these reporters and people that actually wrote these articles out because I always use the articles, but I don't shout out the authors. I used to sometimes, but now I'm going to start doing that again. So, yeah, there we go, folks. You know, not even 1% of their net worth could have, a big impact on world hunger right now. You know, so let's see. They're saying, 42 million people can be saved if they donated 0.38%. No, 0.36%. You're saving 0.2% right there. See, you're already saving money. You know what I'm saying? So leave me your thoughts down below, folks. I thought this was an interesting story. And I thought it was very cool that Elon Musk is open to this kind of stuff if everything is transparent. So hopefully he sticks to that. Hopefully they do make it transparent so he has no reason to back out of it. And they can get it done. And he can actually, like he said, sell his Tesla stock and help to solve world hunger. You know, there we go, folks. And that's what it is. Leave me your thoughts down below. Like this video, share, comment, subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Love, peace, and light. Until next time, be kind and rewind. And I'll catch you guys next time on the next video, on another segment. Peace.